This week's Torah portion of Parshat Tazria does something very strange, because what it does is it takes childbirth and introduces tum'ah. A woman gives birth to a child, be male or female, and is therefore, as a result, tameh, impure for a period of at least a week or 2 weeks, depending on the sex of the child, the baby. And the question is, why would it be that the Torah introduces into the concept of childbirth something so joyous, something so wondrous? Why would the Torah introduce tum'ah, impurity, in a state of euphoria? Rabbi Dr. Norman Lamb, Zichrono Livracha, I read one of his essays recently, and he explains in his essay that in actuality the Torah is teaching us that a large part of creativity stems from destructiveness. A large part of creativity stems from our ability to be resilient, our ability to climb and to continue and persist, regardless of those obstructions that are introduced to this world inevitably. We see even with the Yitzirah, even with the creation of the world, the Torah or Kabbalah tells us that God did so b'shvirat kelim. In so introducing the world, God also introduced the Yetzer Hara, difficult, evil inclinations and destructive forces. Why? Because they too would prod and encourage man to be creative and ultimately to construct. And so what we see is that the Torah is coming to teach us a very important principle. And that is, even when we feel that we are discouraged, obstructed, that we see a sort of like, or feel that there's an end, in actuality, that end or those challenges might very well be introducing to us opportunity to rebuild, to rethink, to re-advise, and to reinvigorate our spirit as such. That is why I very often explain to people when they think about the mental challenge of anxiety. There's no question that anxiety is a challenge. But anxiety, we need to understand, is also very healthy. Anxiety encourages a person to succeed. When a person walks into an exam or a big exam that's important to them, they have anxiety, butterflies in their stomach. But that anxiety can encourage them to perform, to succeed. And so what we need to understand is that even when there are challenges in this world, they can be used and they can certainly encourage us towards productivity. I heard recently a podcast by an Abigail Schreier. She wrote a book recently called Bad Therapy. Now, you don't have to agree with her opinions or not. That's irrelevant. But what she speaks about is the weaknesses of parenting in the United States of America, and how every single thing that a child says, if they say, "I'm sad today," the parent will immediately say, "Oh, well, you must be depressed. We have to take you to a therapist. We need to treat your depression." Or if a kid says, I feel anxious, I can't breathe. "Oh, we must treat your anxiety. Or you have to stay home, you have to rest." And that destroys a child's capacity or anyone's capacity to be resilient, to understand that there are challenges in life, and that sometimes we just have to learn to suck it up, understand that the challenge was thrown our way for a purpose of construction. Hopefully, if we take it in that direction, then all of a sudden things begin to make sense. The Torah comes to teach us, even in the euphoria of childbirth, there is introduced tum'ah, impurity, reminding us that regardless of whatever we experience, and hopefully they're good, happy things, but even within those happy things, sometimes things just become contorted or challenging or obstructive. And we need to understand that that destructive element can prod and encourage us towards a reconstructive response. This seems to be a very, very important lesson that the Parsha teaches us. It is the Jewish way, it is the Torah way, and it is and always will remain the Gila way. Shabbat Shalom.